So yesterday's story, boys and girls, we had remember that Jacob is now, he has left Laban. He ran away when Laban was out shearing those sheep. And you remember that Rachel stole those idols? But Laban, when her father Laban caught up with them, do you remember that Laban was looking everywhere for them and he could not find them because Rachel had sat on them? Well, now he continues going down. They decided, they built this great big pile of rocks, and they said, we're going to make an oath. We're going to make a covenant together that we're not going to hurt each other. And then Laban kissed them all and he went his way. But Jacob, he keeps going. He keeps going down, and he comes to a place and there's all these angels. He sees all these angels. He sees all these angels and he says, this place, he calls it Mahanaim because there were so many angels there. And then he thinks, I should let Esau know that I'm coming. He remembers. It's been a long time ago. It was 20 years since he's seen Esau, but he remembered that look in Esau's eyes. He remembered that Rebekah had said to him, your brother is planning to kill you. So I probably should let Esau know that I'm coming. So he sent some messengers. He said, go and meet my brother Esau. And Esau lived way down here in Mount Seir. And so these messengers went down to Mount Seir and they came back and they said, we saw your brother and he's coming to meet you. And he has 400 men with him. Oh. So Jacob, the Bible says that he was really frightened and distressed. And so he thought, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put all the mothers and the children and the animals, I'll make two different, I'll put you over there and half of them over here. And I'll put them a little ways away from each other so that if Esau comes and attacks one of them, the other one will get away. And if Esau attacks this one, then this one can get away. Hands on your desk, fold them. That's a warning. And boys and girls, then he thought, I need to talk to God. So he prayed to God. He said, oh God, it was you who promised me. You promised you would be with me and help me. You told me to go back and you would be with me. And I'm so afraid because Esau might come and hurt the children, the mothers and the children. But please be with me and help me. So that's how he prayed to the Lord. He said, Lord, I'm not worthy of all the mercy and the truth that you gave to me. I went over the Jordan River with just a staff. And now look at how many flocks and children I have. Look at how you blessed me. Please bless me. Well, then he thought to himself, I know what I could do. I could get a present. Because sometimes when people get presents, then he thought, if I give Esau a present, then maybe Esau will not be so angry with me. So he got him a present. Now listen to this present, boys and girls. 200 mommy goats and 20 daddy goats, 200 mommy sheep and 20 daddy sheep, 30 milk camels with their young, 40 cows and 10 bulls, and 30 donkeys and 10 little donkeys. He gave all those. So you can imagine how wealthy he was. And so he said to them, he gave an old pile of servants, and the one that was in the front, he said, this is what I want you to say. I want you to go to Esau. And when Esau says, what are these? You say, they are presents from your servant Jacob, and he is coming after them. After us. But make sure there's lots of room between the two of you. So I have all the goats go first, and then wait a little bit, and then all the sheep, and then wait a little bit, and then all the camels like that. So off they went to give all those presents to Esau. Well, that night, Jacob got up and he thought, I'm going to get all the people over this brook Jabbok. So the people went over the brook. They got all the mothers and all the children and all those flocks. They got all over. And then he went back himself. And he was all by himself. And then what happened? There was a man there. At first, Jacob thought, it's just a man. And they started kind of wrestling together. They were kind of trying to put each other down. And they were going to try to get each other off each other. They were wrestling and wrestling. And Jacob would not quit. And so what Jacob thought was a man was actually not. It was God into a man's body, like with a man's body. And the Lord said to Jacob, let me go. And Jacob says, I'm not going to let you go unless you bless me. So then the Lord said, what is your name? And Jacob said, my name is Jacob. Remember what Jacob means? Somebody who grabs, a supplanter. And God says, your name is not going to be Jacob anymore. It's going to be Israel. I'm giving you a new name. It is Israel. Israel, do you see that L at the end? Israel. Remember, you know the word L means God. And Israel kind of means to struggle. I'm going to give you one who struggles with God. Some people think it means God defends. We're not 100% sure what it means, but God is saying, you know how boys and girls, sometimes when you maybe are playing a game with your brothers or sisters, you let your younger brother win, or your mom and dad let you win. Well, that's what the Lord was doing to Jacob. He was letting Jacob win. And then he touched Jacob in the hip, and the whole hip bone went right out of its socket, so that Jacob kind of had to stop. And then Jacob said to the Lord, what is your name? And the Lord said, why are you asking my name? And now Jacob comes out of that. He said, wow, I'm going to call this place Peniel, because I have seen the Lord and I'm still alive. And after that, Jacob was always limping, because that little spot where the Lord touched him was out of socket. And then now he is back with his wife and children, and he's ready to meet his brother Esau. And that's where we'll start the story next week.